Guys, in this video, we're gonna talk about SMM2. Just a refresher on this SMM2, Malaysian Standard Method of Measurements of Building Works, second edition, SMM2. So, if you encountered this before, in your course, so this is just a refresher. So as you can see, in SMM2, there's a lot of works being listed out. But what we are going to talk about is item Q, plumbing and mechanical engineering installation. So in item Q, it specifies only all types of plumbing works, which include the sanitary and water reticulation. So let's take a look on the general information. So when you are describing your task, the first one is the information that should be given is the regulation that you are following, and then a kind and quality of material, gauge, thickness of the pipe or substance type of material used, and any test related to that work. So example, if you can see in this example here, you have a type of material of gutter, zinc, alum. Then you have a dimension. In terms of location, it is described in the elements. In the elements usually, like sanitary fittings. So sometimes it is in described in the bill, heading of the bill. For example, external works, sewer drainage. So people reading this BQ can understand that it is external sewer drainage instead of each unit of houses of sewer drainage. Test, also you need to mention test. For example, here, as you can see here, to supply, install, testing, commissioning, booster pump, according to or sometimes it is according to Sirim Span SAJ, your local water supplier. So you need to define lah in your BQ. And then assembling and jointing shall be deemed to be included. Pattern, modes, templates shall be also included in the items. If the composite units are supplied by the employer, this is rarely done. So the particulars shall be given by the employer, by your side, by the employer side to the contractor. Priming, painting off, and finishes or the surface treatment which need to be applied as part of the process of production need to be described, and also need to be stated whether it is applied before or after the fabrication. And number 5, except otherwise stated, method of fixing, which include nails, bolts, nuts, holes, screws, short fire pins, you need to be described in your BQ. So usually the BQ described as this: supply and fix the following sanitary fittings or other proof equivalent, including cutting, pinning, bracket, according to manufacturer's instruction. So this item, this information need to be stated in your BQ. And then the nature of your background, where the works is being carried out. Is it the work is, there is a building board, including hardboard, compressed cement. So need to be specified. Is it a timber background or a metal face, brickwork, a plain metal or glass. So this need to be specified. And then temporary works need to be also described if there is temporary works. The removing of temporary works and making good of the area shall be deemed to be included with the item. And then lastly on the information is the connections to existing service. So this need to be described. So breaking into existing pipes shall be measured as an item. So it need to be mentioned an item instead of like a meter or numbers. Numbers also can item. And describing the nature of the work, turning off supplies or details of any restrictions on access shall be given in the description. If there is a connection need to be done, hot tapping. So these are all need to be described in your BQ. If there is a hot tapping, usually hot tapping on external pipe reticulation. You have an external supply of main pipe of the SAP, for example, a 9-inch pipe. So you want to tap that supply to your housing area. So that connections need to be described in item connecting hot tapping to and so on. Connection to existing main pipe, size bulb, how big is the pipe, and which include turning off supplies during the work need to be described in your in that element task of connection to existing service. So next is the classification of works. So these are all the classifications of work that includes in the Q item, which is the piping work. Some of it is very familiar to civil works. Some of it maybe related to mechanical works or factory building. So number one is rainwater insulation. That is very common to construction of housing area. Sanitary installation, cold water installation, firefighting installation, heated water, steam. There are the some of the common items lah. So if it is you want to install rainwater installation, you can start with the heading with that heading. Start with that heading. For example, is this sanitary fittings? So this falls under the sanitary installation. So you have a separate tab, separate section for sanitary fittings, and separate headings for rainwater. For example, you can have a separate heading so that after that heading there will be a lot of tasks, a lot of works that involves in that heading lah. For example, this rainwater goods, you have a rainwater downpipe of 110 meter, and then you have embedded rainwater downpipe, and then you have extra over for band and so on. And then you also have a gutter that is on the exposed on the rooftop. So a lot of work under rainwater, so it is best for you to separate rainwater piping works for cold water and then sanitary works. And as mentioned before, the location of work you need to identify. Is it internally, externally, in plant rooms, in housing unit, and so on. So this is to distinguish between the works. Sometimes you have cold water inside a unit of house, but you also have a cold water supply from the external that goes through under your pavement and connecting to each housing unit. So is it external or is it internal? So you need to be specified so that there is no confusion when people are reading or quoting or tendering for your BQ. So as I showed before, for example, in this excerpt of BQ, the for example, the location is mentioned on the separate bill. So you have a bill heading and then the element heading, and then goes into this. So in external work, there are many elements. You have sewer drainage, you have water reticulation, you have electrical supply, and also you have uh, telecom, cable, and so on. So that falls under external work. So it is clear for people tendering this project or people to revisit the works to check whether their works is quoted in the BQ lah, so that it is quoted by it can be tendered by contractor lah. So there is no missing works lah. So location is important. It to specify location. So next we're going to take a look at gutter work and continue with pipe works. And we will skip duct work because it is involved in the electrical works. So see you in next video.